Sometimes you need to understand, oh, maybe my job won't exist tomorrow.
LLM will not take over. AGI may be in the future. So this is just a typical marketing instrument, foam effect, giving people this anxiety.
You have a very unconventional path. You were the doctor.
Yeah.
So the surgeon.
Yes.
Yeah, quite a bit. Now marketing. One very important metric for the C-level is actually how much revenue we can get from lifecycle marketing.
It can be from 8 until like 17% incremental revenue by lifecycle marketing. But what is important is how you'll measure it.
Oleksii Choban is a lifecycle marketer at Superhuman who previously worked at Grammarly, Speechify, and Amboss. A former doctor turned marketer, he has built lifecycle programs from 0 to 1 across international products in health tech, AI, and productivity.
Hi, everybody. Today we have a guest from a really great company, Oleksii, Lifecycle Marketing Manager at Superhuman.
Yes. Thank you very much. Nice to have me here.
Okay. Yeah, it should be a great conversation. And just maybe some of our listeners don't know what's like Superhuman, ex-Grammarly, what it is. Like, can you boast a little bit about your company and achievements? Like, you're great, but maybe you can share some numbers.
Yeah, sure. Superhuman is basically a suite of different companies, but now it's one big company. Back then, I will not go with the dates, but Grammarly got 1 billion in financial in investing, and they bought Coda and merged with Coda, and they bought also Superhuman Mail, and this became a new product, which is now named Superhuman. So this is a complex product of different products in it, and also standalone products. For example, as a Superhuman Go is AI agent, and more new AI agents inside of the Superhuman environment, such as AI grader, AI detector, and so on, so on, so on, so on, so on.
I just have some numbers online, and just please tell me, is it true? So it seems like you have the valuation at least of $13 billion, like in the last round, and the revenue is like 700 million. Maybe?
Maybe, I don't know.
And more than 40 million users. So really like a massive business.
It's a huge.
Yeah.
Yes.
And one more important question. So now is a lot of turbulence in their SaaS valuations and on the market, and seems like Superhuman is one of the companies that the markets believe that it like is AI friendly, and your company is like boosted by this AI wave and ChatGPT. Is it true? How do you feel these times? You're like Grammarly was like a machine learning company for quite a long time.
Mm-hmm.
How this transformation is going now?
I mean, for us, it's something new. First of all, how it's going for us and how it's going for the market is different topics. How it's going for us, yes, it's a complex thing, but what is important for us is to be agile and lean. We need to understand how to go into this market, discover how to work in this market, because there was no previous precedence of how to work with an agents, how to sell agents, how to market agents, how to show value for users of those agents. Maybe we need to change the communication, and in current number of yes, we're now in AI world, but number of AI slop content is actually reducing trust of users into the companies, into the brand. So you need to be, it's my opinion, but you need to be more brand-based and have a really human voice to people, because this is where you can gain trust and talk to people and how to talk to people. In terms of companies, this is also in the market. This is also a new and interesting part, because first of all, in our case, we are not only transiting to AI world. Yes, Grammarly was AI company, ML company. Current LLMs is basically, in a nutshell, I will not undermine it, but in a nutshell, it's still ML. It's not that AGI that we're looking for.
Not yet.
Yeah, not yet. Yeah, but we have two complex problems that we are eager to solve is how to market ourselves in the AI market, agentic market, and how to build this trust and complex company, because it's a suite of different products, how to shows the value, how to merge everything to one unified experience to users and still like not to lose trust of users, because it's currently where we are going, it's will be more and more important to be trusted by users.
With all this like AI wave happening now, it's a lot of anxiety among people for changing their careers. Okay, so sometimes you need to understand, oh, maybe my job won't exist tomorrow. You have a very unconventional path into the like marketing. Okay, you were the doctor.
Yeah.
So the surgeon.
Yes.
Really.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I was in residency. I almost didn't finish, but almost finished pediatric residency in Ahmedit.
Okay, like
Pediatric
surgery residency. That's a lot.
Quite a pivot.
Yeah, quite a pivot. Now marketing. The first question: do you have any regrets now with all this AI way automating marketing? Maybe you should stay in surgery. And the second question, the serious one: how do you really adjust your career and into this like turbulent times?
I would say this card is still in my pocket somewhere. I know that it exists. I always refreshing my knowledge about medicine. I'm always reading new info. Like when I was in residency, I was into topic of hepatobiliary system. So it's liver, biliary system, etc. So I'm always in a context. I'm trying to read more and more and more, but about marketing and turbulence and AI and this anxiety about AI. I think like I got into this AI anxiety somewhere in January, February, when Claude released several of their huge releases. They almost took the whole agentic world. They introduced so many different tools, agents, CLI, etc., etc. And at some point, and also I saw a website, I don't remember exactly, but maybe we can add it later. There is a website, you're entering name of your product and it shows, will Claude take over your product?
Okay.
Like, and what is the percentage, how likely? And I was pretty upset in terms of what I'm going to do next. I didn't know. But I made several steps back and I just realized that this giving people an anxiety, this giving people this FOMO effect is still this marketing
opportunity
instrument, marketing tool. Claude CEO is just coming when they want to release a new thing and saying like, we will take over the world. Please give us more policies. We need to restrict AI, etc., etc. And people are interested. What is happening there? I need to look into this Claude. I need to look into these tools. If they will take over the world, I need to be on top of that. And it's like, maybe they will take over. They didn't take it over yet, but honestly, LLM will not take over. AGI maybe in the future. So this is just a typical marketing instrument, FOMO effect, giving people this anxiety to show your product. It's still marketing. Will Lifecycle disappear? No, never. Lifecycle, it's not never say never, but Lifecycle is very complex and interesting discipline, I would say. First of all, we can make also several steps back. Previously, we had CRM managers who was responsible for segmentation, working around CRM system. We had campaign managers who was like coming to CRM manager and saying, I need this segment to build this campaign. Can you create email or I don't know, push notifications and not notifications? And then those two people are working together. Now this is Lifecycle Marketing Manager. You had also PMM work when you're learning how people behave. You're learning more deeper segmentation of user, behavioral segmentations. And so Lifecycle Marketing Manager is taking small bites from every discipline. And this is how I see a complex, well-founded lifecycle marketing manager, and it will not disappear because it's a complex person who work with data, data warehouses, CDP tools, who work with complex customer engagement platforms, who know how they work, who knows the technical part, who can communicate with engineering team to set up everything in their EPS system. And I don't believe that any of the agents, AGI, will take over at some point. Work from us.
I see this life cycle from the angle of the user, and you will have some different stages of the customer life cycle. And as soon as I don't really believe that we will sell to agents in the future, so we will still sell to people. And as soon as your digital product is consumed by users, you need lifecycle marketing. So it will definitely be transformed. It will be much more scalable. Maybe we can do much more with like one person or a team. of lifecycle managers, but as we keep selling to humans, we will have lifecycle marketing. So maybe not so bad decision about switching from surgery to marketing. But how do you overcome this? So, well, like at least some people will need to change their careers tremendously, like during the following years. Your personal experience, how do you overcome this difference?
I think it was quite run for me, 6 years of medical university, 3 years of residency, and I wanted to have, and basically I didn't have almost any vacation. So I wanted to take just a deep breath. It was after the COVID. It was the residency during the COVID. It was also quite an interesting experience. And I wanted to take like a breath. I didn't want to go out from medicine. And I took just like half year and I want to try something else. Also during like some side content during my university years, I had so many side hustles, side works. I was working in, you're from Kyiv, yeah?
From Dnipro, yeah,
from
but
Dnipro.
I spent a lot of time in Kyiv too.
Okay, so people from Kyiv know, I mean, almost everybody in Ukraine should know China High, Katsurin. I was working there a host during my medical university years. I was working in hospitals, I was working in coffee shops, so I was trying to pick up, I mean...
hustle, I really respect the hustle.
It's not even the hustle for the sake of hustle, you just needed to work as a student because you didn't have money and you want to get you some pocket monies. But it was also an amazing experience because in hospital, I learned medicine, but in coffee shops, I learned how to love coffee. Now I'm a coffee lover. I have so many different coffee tools at my home. And also there is an open topic for me to speak to people and have, it's easy to network with people on any conference. Then host, amazing experience of operational work. You need just to handle all those number of tables and work with people. They're calling you, they're texting you in Messenger, and you need to organize people inside of the restaurant. And it's just it's not as complex as I'm describing it, but it's a great experience to have a different experience. And then, so basically, I made several steps back, but coming back to I needed just a year to chill, relax, rewind, understand what I want to do, but I still wanted to do something. And my friend invited me to Bookimed, great company. It's a medical tourism company. If you're searching for any treatment or plastic adjustments abroad, or if you want to travel from one country, even if you want from Ukraine in Ukraine, you can do it also. And I was working there, started working as a sales account manager. So you're basically helping people to find hospitals which are suitable for their procedures, for their treatment. And I was working in the side of plastic surgery and oncology. It's also pretty similar, pretty close one, but yeah. And where I get an experience with emails, how to talk to people, how to communicate with people. I started unconsciously, I didn't know anything about lifecycle marketing. I started unconsciously segmenting people, who's most likely, it's more sales, okay, not marketing, but sales, marketing, segmentation, who's tofu, mofu, etc. And this was also step by step. I got introduced into more complex ideas, how to now sell people, how to upsell, and I started picking up some also learnings. So, and at this point I was interested in marketing and I wanted to actually learn something about it, about marketing, about the product, how it behaves, how to work with the product itself, not only about how to work with people inside of the product. And I was searching and I found Andriy Mandrika. Shout out Andriy Mandrika.
We had a great podcast with him, but it's in Ukrainian. But nevertheless, we will add the link here.
Andriy Mandrika's courses are amazing. If you want to enter, it's I think for all levels. He can market it better, but I joined his course of product analytics. And this was a pivotal, I would say, moment for me because this is where I extrapolated medical knowledge to product knowledge, because medicine is everything about systems. You have system of organ, you have everything working by the system. And then you have product. it's the same system. And that's like product analytics was a kind of an introduction to product experience, marketing experience, product knowledge. And from that course, I started picking up more and more and more. I went to other several courses and Projector. Then I started following people in LinkedIn through who were like voices of Lifecycle at that time. I didn't think that Lifecycle was a thing it was a thing 5 years ago, but it's not as popular as it is now.
Mm-hmm.
And I wouldn't say that it was like something smooth. I wasn't thinking about like, do I need to do something else? It was just like, I like it, I want to do it. And this is the most important, I think, for me in my life. This is my rule. If I like it, I'm doing it.
Yeah, that's very interesting. And it's very interesting that you found this like a bridge. So you worked with a medical company, like as a kind of marketer, yeah, in the medical company, and then you switch to marketing. So those bridges are very important from like one knowledge that you have and just expand from there. So when we are talking, like when you're telling the story, it's like quite organic. Okay, so it was medicals and medical companies and another marketing company and now Superhuman and Grammarly. Yeah, but like the distance is quite a lot. Like, yeah, some maybe curiosity that drives you through this journey is very, very inspiring. Yeah. But like on this journey, Grammarly is like current role, but you also used to work in some like great companies like Amboss, Speechify. Can you compare what are the differences in business models at scale? How's the lifecycle marketing difference at these different business models?
It's always everything is different in every company. If you'll take even the one side of the company, like how the company internally works, it's completely different. So Amboss, it's medical educational company. Again, medicine, somewhere following me because like my Joker card, as I said, always in the pocket. I know this, I know people, I know medical students who basically I know my segment. And about the company, it is German-based medical educational company. They have a platform for students to prepare for medical exams. The complexity is that the company is 15 years old and they were working from older, let's say, older structure. I don't want to undermine their work, amazing company again, older structure. And they had campaign managers who were working with CRM manager and they were giving tasks to CRM manager. And at the point when I came, I wanted to, I don't know why, just unconsciously, I wanted to own more things, and I started to shifting this behavior and work collaboration with my campaign manager that I was working in the market. I will own your work, but let's do more work to like bring more revenue, bring more users, bring more benefits to users also. And at that point, I would say that this was a shift from CRM manager to lifecycle marketing manager when I took more work from them and the ownership, product ownership, product marketing ownership, and campaign manager ownership. In terms of business, also segments are different. Size of the company is different. They're well marketed, even in AI world, because students need to learn still medicine, pass medical exams. Nobody will take your job anywhere still. Do I need to say numbers?
Yeah, if you can, of course.
Let's say it's a middle-sized company. They have 90% of DACH region, almost all medical students in DACH region knows and use Amboss. And as I was going out from the company, I don't know now, but it was like 15% of US market. So it's quite a lot. And then going to Speechify, it's also now it's different. Size is similar, but the approach to the company is different. I was coming to Speechify there was nobody in Lifecycle Marketing Manager. There was no CRM manager, Lifecycle Campaign Manager, nobody. The role of Lifecycle CRM Manager was handed over from PMM to growth so basically several people were owning this. And I was coming as basically the person who will establish everything, connect, build, first of all, Lifecycle Foundation, build all the tools, connection between tools, build segmentation, build design system, email design system, in-app design system. And this was like more foundational work. And it was also a great experience for me. to basically organize an operational work around it, not only to send emails or send enough messages, build journeys. It's also very important to know your base and foundation of your lifecycle system, because it's how you will work, how it will scale. It will help you to scale.
And then Grammarly, yeah?
And then Grammarly, yes.
If you're talking about the different, you work with a very diverse customer segments. And does the approach to lifecycle changes? So if you're selling like medical exam or the app for like Speechify for speech to text, text to speech translation, or Grammarly now, does there different lifecycle stages or there's the same?
Lifecycle stages, I think no. Lifecycle stages are almost everywhere the same. You might have differentiators of like smaller lifecycle stages specific to your segment, but lifecycle stages are the same. You have a new user, if you have trial, you have trial user, you have user who has aha moment, setup, aha, habit, and then if you have referral, amazing, you're referring more users. If you're going to growth states, all the same. But then it depends on your segment, how you will define this lifecycle stage. This is important. This is the most important.
And the playbook, can you use actually the playbook that you use like in Speechify, can you apply it in Grammarly or not?
I will make a step back. I don't like to be soft. I don't like LinkedIn posts about this is my playbook, post playbook, and I will send you how to send a campaign. I hate them. It's just like they're sending how they see a product, I don't know, some imaginary product, or they work with a product, and they send you how to set up a campaign for this specific product. You can apply, you can get some insights, you can get some ideas, you can get an idea for a campaign, you can get the hypothesis, ideas for a test, but you cannot take and apply something for your work. I had this experience. I was sending a lot of messages like, give me this playbook, give me this campaign setup, give me this journey setup. And I would say almost I was getting 10, 20% of that like value of what I was saying. It's still a value. So, I mean, but saying about playbook, for me, there is no playbook. You always need to learn. You always need to know your segment. You always need to know your stage. Because, for example, how you'll define growth stages of users inside of the product, who is user at risk? You cannot apply the same rule of user at risk for Speechify to Amboss. And then you have also Grammarly, which is now more complex. And then you have Superhuman, which is complex suite of different products. And this is different differentiation of playbook. You have playbook of like naming, but how to apply, you need to work with data. And this is a shift where actually lifecycle marketing is going. I think it's work more with data than with the content. You need to have a really nice content partner, or if you're really good in content, amazing. It's really great for you. And you're going into more data structured work. You need to work with analytics. You need to work with warehouse data. Like 80% of my work time now, I'm working with raw or unified data. That's it.
There are a lot of terms in our field like lifecycle. Some of them you mentioned already, like lifecycle, CRM, retention, activation, etc. How do you think, is there any stage of the lifecycle that you love most, or like the most important one? Maybe that like you prefer to work and you enjoy, so like something for the new users, or maybe the retention is a key and you need to focus on increasing it for the long term, like for the long term results of the business.
It depends on the size of the company and stage of the company, of course. Like for a new company, it's more important, and they need to focus more on converting users when they're entering their product, and then focusing on churn prevention and retention. I mean, there is no like the most important life cycle stage. You need just to have a list of your hypothesis, how it's working. With data, you can at least like, if we will improve conversion to this amount, we will get like 10 millions. No, you need to have a justification of your hypothesis. So that's why I'm saying you need to work with data and then evaluate. simple prioritization, RISE method, any methods you want to prioritize your backlog hypothesis. And this is how you will define the most important and most valuable part of the life cycle that is will work for you now. My favorite one, I think it's two parts. I really like trial experience because it's a very short, it's conventional, but still unconventional in terms of product experience. You have a very short period in which you need to give users as much value as you can at this point, and also understand when you need to not to send anything to users. And like, you need to also
just shut up.
yes, because it's also very important sometimes not to send anything to our users, because it's like they will find by themselves.
Yeah, and this is very interesting, like that you mentioned it. I found like the trial is super important. Like the trial, if you have a trial in your product, the trial period is super important, but it's also one of the hardest ones. So because you have so many, like in this short period of time, you can have so many different stages and states of the user, and like sometimes you need to be really verbose, and sometimes you need just don't say anything, and it will work out. One very important metric for the C-level is actually how much revenue we can get from lifecycle marketing. Sometimes it's called, like very common, it's called revenue share, like revenue share for all lifecycle marketing channels, like direct marketing, like emails, in-apps, mobile push messages, and how much do they contribute to the whole revenue of the company. Do you have your own personal benchmarks for that, if any? Like, what is a good share of revenue or the impact that lifecycle marketing can bring to the business?
I think I'm leaning towards market benchmarks. It also depends on the product, but it's quite a range. It can be from 8 until like 17% incremental revenue by lifecycle marketing. But what is important is how you'll measure it. And this is more important question to answer for the C-level, because it was also actually, if we can come back to Speechify, one of the KPIs and one of the requirements that I was coming, lifecycle lead, is to bring X percentage incremental revenue. Let's say it was like 10 millions incremental revenue brought by specifically lifecycle. And I was fine with that until I asked a question, how will measure it?
Okay.
Like, do you have a well-defined attribution system? Is it unified across all of your products? Does it mean that if your lifecycle will start cannibalizing from product incremental revenue, it will just cannibalize part of your revenue? It will be incremental lifecycle revenue, but it will not add revenue to the whole revenue, to the ARR. How you'll measure it? Do you have a multi-system attribution model? Do you have... It's all the questions about attribution, because lifecycle, as I see it, it should be a close partner with growth. How you actually can measure an impact of lifecycle, it's first through experimentation, holdouts, unified attribution model. If you have well-defined, amazing. Great for you.
Yes, some post-click and last-click attribution still holds, for some like short-term signal, but like holdout groups is like when you can do it, actually, it's perfect.
Exactly.
It's like the gold standard. How from the medicine,
Yes. Amazing. Yeah, the thing, systems. It's like for medicine, it's the same. You're learning statistics.
Yep.
You're coming, and it's exactly the same p-values, and you're like, oh my God, I learned it. I know it. Like,
it's very, very funny story, because during my career, I used to be like playing a CMO role for the like biggest surgery clinic in our region. So I used to work in like drugstore chain, and like the whole medical sphere is quite close, like hard. So and the statistical approach. In medicine, it's a little bit more responsibility with these p-values. When you're measuring conversions, it's not so much responsibility, but when you actually, sorry for surgery, but really cut the person. So, but yes, mathematically, it's all the same.
No, surgery and the statistics, it's also like two different. You're learning statistics for basically to have a justification of procedures that you will do for a person, while surgery, not undermining, it's like purely technical work. You need to learn how to work in this environment, and that's it. You're not using,
Okay, it's interesting that you're calling the body this environment. a little bit of surgeon terminology. I've used to talk with a lot of surgeons, like in my previous career, and they have a very great and distinct type of humor, I believe. So yeah, we will add a lot of work for our team to cut this and to make the story whole, but like it's a great conversation. So besides attribution is super important and measuring the results. But what other metrics are crucial for a life cycle? Okay, I attributed revenue, I got it, you need it, but maybe some other points, data points that you actually need and you can't work without.
It also depends on life cycle stage of user.
Of course.
But let's say we have a trial user. We need, first of all, to understand like how I would approach it and how I'm always like approaching when I was working in Amboss, Speechify, and now Grammarly. You need to, first of all, understand, we can go deep into different dimensions of segmentation, but first of all, you need to understand those, let's say, trial lifecycle stages. We can name them exactly the same: aha, setup, habit moment inside of the trial. And we can basically define it as behavioral metrics for users by which we can build stages and work with trial stage. And then any revenue related metrics that you can work with. Going into complex products. And this is actually the shift with Speechify and Amboss. You got one subscription. Yes, you got 3 different types: monthly, quarterly, yearly subscription. Now I have a product of basically Grammarly, which is also monthly, quarterly, yearly. But then you got Superhuman, which is a complex product which can be sold in different variations. And also you have a different SKUs, you have a different, where I'm going, you can cross-sell and upsell, pretty standard marketing techniques, but still it can be a really nice leverage for your specific lifecycle stage. So, and you can gain more revenue from user at a short period of time. So this is the second one. And I'm not going into lifecycle channel metrics. They are important. It's important to work with them, but
like CTRs or open rates, so some kind of this one.
Yes, CTR open rates, they are important, but this is not even a secondary metric. I would say this is, if you have primary, secondary, this is other metrics where you're just controlling guardrail that they're working fine. So yeah, any business metrics, like it depends. Like, what is your goal achieved inside of the trial? You have, let's say, 3 different segments. You have a new user who came from meta channel. Let's say you have a user who was previously free user, heavy free user, and then he saw a trial upsell, started a trial, and then you have a churned user who received the free trial incentive email and started free trial. This is 3 completely different segments, and the approach and metrics for them will be completely different.
Okay, so it's really interesting. And you're introducing one more dimension, because when we are working with trials, we usually have like up to 5 segments, basically on the trial stage. Okay, like beginning of the trial active, like middle trial not active. Maybe I say during the trial, but unsubscribed. This is another story. But now you introduced like the channel metric, and like if you have a substantial different, like as you do, you have a substantial sources for this segment, you definitely have you need to have a different approach to them. So it's multiplying again. So it's number of crazy.
I would say we also did it in Speechify and Amboss. It was just like which dimensions we can have for users. Sometimes it's also important to understand if something is not working with your segments, like you cannot move actually users from activeness dimension segments, and you're thinking, okay, if it's not working, can I try a different dimension? You're going into channel dimension of segmentation. So you're taking Meta, Google, etc., other channel dimension users, organic users, and trying to work with this dimension. And then you're thinking, maybe I can apply activity metrics for those channels, because maybe Meta is not responding. Maybe just like they're adding not Ada, let's say Meta actually adding their real, almost all of them adding their real emails, but let's say Apple emails, they're burning emails. You're not send anything. If you'll even send to them, they will not read it.
You said like one very important topic, and I want to get back to it. So there is sometimes you need just like not taking any action is the best action. So not sending anything. How do you actually decide when you need to shut up and stop communicating with the user, not to do any harm to the lifecycle metrics and results?
As I said, there is no playbook that I can say like write playbook and I will send you playbook how to not to talk to people.
So in this podcast, sorry, it will be no any giveaways with the secret.
No, the main giveaways that I want to brought to people and what I'm using by myself, and this is the most valuable thing, is constant experimentation. You have an idea, experiment, use, like launch as many experiments as you want, and the benefit of AI agents, all the stuff that is coming out of lifecycle marketing, it's not that it will take over your work, but it means that you can be more operationally effective. You can launch, like looking at myself, half year ago, I was launching, depends on the size of the experiments, of course, but let's say 6 experiments, 7 experiments per month.
Per month.
Per month, let's say. Depends on like different levels of complexity, L to L, 1M and several S experiments. But it doesn't matter. But what means now is that with current number of skills that I have built for myself, I didn't take them from, again, you see a LinkedIn post, somebody is posting like, I have amazing skills, and you're downloading those skills, you're applying, and they're not working for you because this is not your operational environment. This is not your work. I built for myself a lot of skills, and I can't even share it with my lifecycle marketing peers because they have a different operational system. And so coming back again, 6 experiments 6 months ago, currently I'm trying, but still like I'm launching 25, 30, 35 experiments. You didn't need like, I'm going to work and before I need to write my experiment card. Why I need to write experiment card now? I'm just plugging in my AirPods, going in a tram and dictating everything to, I don't know.
Do you use like Cloud Dispatch? This work when you work on your PC?
I tried several tools. Currently, I'm working with Cloud. I'm a bit cautious with Cloud. I'm not sending any sensitive information to any of those tools, but mostly for ideation, writing experiment specs, like all the operational work, it can be handled, like everything. Like I see a meeting and I'm just dictating, like, can you move the meeting for 15 minutes? You don't need to go, like, how Google Calendar didn't create an option where you can see and all of the meetings overlaps. I can't, like, we're living in the AI world and it's still not there.
I think that Google, by like doing so poorly with Google Drive and like all this, like their product surfaces, they giving a great opportunity to your products now. And I'm like Grammarly paid user for I don't know like how many, like at least 5 years now. Yeah, and I have Grammarly on my phone. I use Grammarly in Google Docs. I use Grammarly in Slack on my Mac. So it's like must-have tool for me. But like you're like just from the product perspective, it's so convenient. Of course, I have like Claude and OpenAI subscription and Gemini. And Gemini too. Yeah, I have both of them, but still, maybe I use Grammarly as the most frequent. Like if you talk about the frequency of usage, maybe the Grammarly is number one.
Because this is what I really loved about Grammarly. I'm saying as also as a user, I was paying like for Grammarly for ages. I was using it even in my medical university. And this is the product that you actually do not see. It works seamlessly with you. It's always there. It's always in your Google Doc. It's always on your Mac. It's always in your Slack. And it's not annoying. We try not to be annoying. Sorry if sometimes it's happening. But yeah, and that's how you gain trust and value in the product.
And now you have a much bigger verticals product surface. And Grammarly is huge. I believe you have, I don't know the exact numbers you haven't shared, but like just from your, just thinking about your scale, you have like definitely have hundreds of millions of emails and users on free trial, paid users. And I believe that the other product, like you want to upsell something like Superhuman or Coda to Grammarly users to like match bigger database. Is it hard?
Yes, it's hard, but it's interesting. And since it's interesting, I really like this work because now also like somehow it fell into part of my responsibilities. Now I'll be working closely with cross activation team, and this is the most exciting and interesting part that will be willing to do in the future, like several months. Maybe we can have another podcast or meeting after that we can talk more in details, because I know like there are a lot of multiple suites products like Atlassian with their suites of their products. Google is not very into lifecycle marketing, but there are like small number, but still there is already this experience on the market, and it's hard, but still I'll try to experiment. The thing is that I don't have like something specific now to share about what is hard now. I'm learning a lot about it, like constantly learning.
I think that the Figma did a great job when they introduced, like when they became a multi-product company, like with FigJam, with slides for them. So, like it's kind of expiring for me. But Atlassian, of course, like with everything from like I sometimes like I'm using all Atlassians, like I have Confluence, Jira, of course, but then I also have Trello and I also have Loom, and like
yeah.
So no results. But with this, let's do a little bit of promotion, because
Yes.
I've used to test Superhuman for when it was a separate company, and but I didn't become a like heavy user. Can you tell a little bit more about this new products that you have, about the Superhuman and about Coda?
Yes. Let's go to Grammarly. We already talked about it. Everybody knows. But what is also important in Grammarly is that you have a number of agents. It's not about correction, your tone, but also identification if this was written with AI. There are a lot of student tools like citation tool. There are like separate SaaS products that are appearing just for citations, like for AI grader, AI detector, etc., etc. So there are a lot more agents inside of the Grammarly, and it will appear more agents. Then we have a Coda. This is a knowledge-based kind of a wiki, page management, operational tool. And then you have Superhuman Mail, which was previously Superhuman. And this is also an amazing tool. I was using it for 3 years before joining Grammarly. And I was always a zero inbox user. I wasn't their actual user persona, but for me, this product worked amazing.
How do you combine all this? So I believe that like Superhuman supposed to be the main brand now, yeah, and on the long run. How do you actually combine all this like very different product experiences into one brand?
Yeah, I think this is the challenge that the product team is working now. I cannot say how they will market it, how the product will.
Maybe to make the question more narrow from the life cycle perspective. Okay, so you're definitely communicating and sending emails about the product. How do you merge all this together?
We are trying to unify this experience. I mean, I would say seamlessly unify the experience of transition one product to another product. But what actually does it mean under the hood is to find overlaps of user personas inside of 3 of our products, and then extend those overlaps in our user personas to find like the most potent segments that we can cross-activate or cross-sell to different products, and how to merge this experience, how the product experience will look like. Like the end goal is to have, I think, I will not predict the future, how the product will look like, but I think what we gain as knowledge from Grammarly is that the seamless experience of working behind your back, you'll not see the product itself, but it's always helping and always with you. I think it's where Superhuman is headed. You'll have all those tools, but maybe you'll work with them, but you'll have this seamless experience of if you need to change something, I don't know, right, we will be there. It's like all the agents will be working with you. You need to create another agent. Here, new agent will appear. for you. And this seamless experience, it is where we're leaning towards. And I think with lifecycle marketing, it's the same. I think at some point, maybe lifecycle will change. Maybe email will not be as it is important now, or in-app messages, or any other. Maybe new channels will appear. I don't know, some agentic specific channel. Who knows? Maybe some will. Maybe I'll invest. So it's hard, but it's very interesting in terms of like finding this complex overlaps of user personas, user ideas, and the second question is how to market this and how to life cycle it, how to send the message to user. I would ask to restrict AI content. It's like people now see it, people feel it, people understand where it's AI written or not AI written. I have amazing content partners who are helping me, and we are actually working more on the content, ideating a content, how to talk to people, how to use our brand voice, of course, but how to actually explain people what it means, the changes for them. Because we're working in AI world, but what does it mean for my mom? What does it mean for my sister, for my dad? Like my sister is using it for school, that's it. But how to explain to her how she can use a calendar or a new mail app to be more effective. She doesn't care about effectiveness. She care about like, I need to do my things done. Like maybe you can approach with jobs to be done approach. Maybe you can use all different other approaches. It's always learning, experimenting, but use people, human generated content.
Okay. And one more challenge into your work is like at your scale, I believe you have so many user personas. And I just like, as a Grammarly user, I don't think I just like it and it works for me. But maybe they're Grammarly for the student and Grammarly for me, and communication from Grammarly for different personas should be different. How you overcome this challenge? How you like actually define the personas, their borders between personas, like, and how you do you attribute the user to particular persona?
First of all, we have onboarding.
Okay. Do people lie during the onboarding? If I'm like pretending that I'm still a student and
No, I mean, yes, I'm joking, but not, I'm not, because of course you have always, in most of the products, you have product onboarding. Yeah, people can lie about it, but then it's coming the next step. It's behavioral signals. You have specific signals of user usage inside of the product, what dimension of product they're using, how often they're using, on what days they're using. And what is also a great experience to work in Grammarly is that you have heavily well-funded ML and data teams.
Okay.
It's amazing. Definitely, I didn't have it in like Amboss. I didn't have it in Speechify. But working with ML and data teams, it's something out of this world. You just like, I was talking about those signals in Speechify and Amboss, but you cannot build it without ML team.
Okay.
And those signals is helping us to navigate in this ambiguity of user persona. Sometimes, definitely, as you said, I put as I am a student, but I'm not actually a student. Maybe I'm academic professional, etc. So you're defining behavioral usage signals during user usage, if user is using. The second question, if user is not using, this is like mostly work of lifecycle marketing. We're using those segments that, let's say, we had before. Mm-hmm. But it's mostly data-based, ML-based, usage-based, and there are a lot of different dimensions. If we are talking about more simpler lifecycle approach, how to create the differentiation of user personas, of course, product onboarding, but then which dimension of product also, you can go simple. You can take, for example, medical educational companies that work in Amboss. We had two parts of the product. We had part for early medical students and late medical students, two different exams. And imagine you're sending medical exam, upselling for second medical exam for early students. They don't care. It's like 6 years ahead of them. What you're doing, simple signal. You're looking, user entered the product, user started the trial. which part of the product user is using. Are they using preparation for first exam or second exam? Even if they answered like, I'm an early student, but they're using second part of the exam, what it means, that they're interested in second part. This is a simple signal. And you can imagine and create much more of those signals and use them for segmentation.
You said that like the strong ML team is important. Not everybody. Like it's expensive. Okay, and nowadays, like ML engineers, you need to. It's quite hard to
Nowadays,
find them.
yes.
Yeah, but it's also very important where do you actually apply AI. And during our talk, you mentioned, okay, it's very okay for you to apply like for experimentation and for scaling experiments. Great idea. But when you're talking about content, you said, okay, I want really his human touch. How do you feel? Where is the places where the AI agents is the like must-have tools already, and where will you use them with like caution and restrict a little bit?
I would say human content that I was mentioning, it's end content that user will digest, you'll see. You can use, and I'm using, of course, like for ideation, I want to create like several ideas for content, I don't know, for subject lines,
Okay.
ID, email, Spark, etc., etc. And then I'm coming up with several suggestions for my partner, content manager, and we are ideating, like making it specific to user persona, etc., etc. Where agents coming to Lifecycle, where they can work? It depends. I mean, we can open the topic of AI decisioning.
Let's do it.
AI decisioning, because before we had several already several not called agents, but let's say features, AI features in customer engagement platforms like Smart Time, where to send an email, help me generate a subject line, pre-header, like those simple features, and they were not working for me. Never.
I can share because for Reteno we have this data, and for our other products, like Stripo and Yespo, we also have the data. You're not alone. It was not the most like feature adoption for this kind of stuff was really, really low.
Yeah, and I mean, I see why, because you're not in context. It's when you were asking like what lifecycle stage, what playbook you can give. There is no playbook. You cannot apply without the context of the product itself. You cannot, you just cannot. You need to know your user base. You need to know your segment, because different segments have different timings. You have etc., subject lines, blah, 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 and so on. Agents in lifecycle marketing, where you can also apply smart building tools, reducing your operational work. If it will be possible, I don't know who will be the first one. You're just dictating, voiceovering what you need to build in journeys. Bam, brace, iterable customer Reteno. Somebody will build it for you. It's amazing. I saved half an hour of building different blocks, or just I will adjust them. Or if I can also reprompt it, send another message and change the blocks. Wow. Like, do I need a laptop now? I can do it on my on my phone.
We have the agent already line now in Slack. We will do it in the web interface, but yeah, the next feature should be mobile.
Yeah, reducing operational work, it's, I would say, the most valued features for me as a lifecycle marketing manager.
Maybe some integration stuff, translations, some kind of this stuff.
It depends on localization. There are already a lot of well-established, well-working products for localization. We work with some of them for Speechify. With Amboss, we were working with them. Yeah, but this is sometimes, basically.
One of the most used features now in our agent for Reteno is these integrations. For example, when you can take some images from Figma and just tell agent, you don't need to like download, upload, copy, paste, adjust, and you can just take it, use the like tiny PNG to make it smaller, just put it into his email, and it helps like with it saves a lot of just physical time to not to do this manual operations. How do you think about this like operation effectiveness?
Amazing. As I said, like all agents that I'm looking for that will come to Lifecycle, it's those who will help us operationally, not to be effective, but save time for more ideation, work with data, integrations. Amazing. Like any other agent that will save me time, I'm there for that. Like if you're going for agents that will help me what message to send, when to send this message, what is the structure of the journey, how I will communicate to user, no.
No, not yet. Not yet. Do you believe this is possible? No, I totally understand because there really is a challenge now. So, and actually, you even now can ask the agent for about like what should be the subject line here, or what campaign should I like, when should I send, and you will get the answer. But the quality of this answer is lower than like senior experienced lifecycle marketer. They will do better. How do you feel about it? Is it possible that I don't know, like in a year or in a couple of years, agents will be able to answer this question on the decent quality?
I would say, yes, but within the content that was predefined for them, what I'm talking about, like you can use AI decisioning model, or let's say AI layer for specific dedicated stage of life cycle, or even like specific campaign. AI decisioning, it depends on amount of context it has to work with. Because let's say we're talking about trial experience, and there are like so many different variations, how you can talk, when you can talk, like 20, 30 different dimensions. And AI decisioning model will lost in it. Like I had experience with AI decisioning models. It's not working, at least in my case, it's not working for trial, because I'm working with trial better than any AI decisioning model, because I know my segment, I know my channels, I know my LTV of each segment that is coming from different channels, and I know how market it better, and I know when to stop talking to users, because this is like one of the challenges that I saw working with AI decisioning models is they don't know when to stop.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have this.
They're sending too many messages. Yeah.
Maybe they know now, but my experience was like that. And so yeah, this agentic layer, it will appear, it will be there. This is a new maybe tool. Like previously we had CDP, we had CEP, what else? I don't know. Data warehouse, so many different other technical integrations, tools that we were using lifecycle marketing managers. But at some point, yes, agentic, I see that it's coming to lifecycle marketing, but it will not take over our jobs. It will be just one of the tools. It will be two parts. It will be agentic, which layers that will help operationally, and agentic part, which will help with the content, but you need to go very bullish and campaign specific. I wouldn't say like even stage specific, campaign specific. If you'll take promo campaigns and you will upload, like, let's say, X amount of content, and you will ask a decisioning model like to find the best content that resonates with a specific segment of users, I think it will do a great job. With promo campaigns, easy peasy. Like it will find, and then specific user segment will receive.
Like a promo, you mean broadcast, like not triggered flows, or what kind of promo campaigns?
Promo I meant discount, incentive, win back campaign,
Okay,
some kind of those promo campaigns. Like because before I would send 20 different variations of email, we'll find like which is the best one of by channel metrics and business metrics, because it's also like sometimes like channel metrics and business metrics, they connected, but sometimes not. And it's also another question important to have in mind. Yeah, so I would do 20 different emails and I will find 2 or 3 which are working best for me, and then I would send it to the whole audience. While you can create, let's say, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 100 different variations of your email composite, and then upload it to AI agent tool, and it will find even better, and better than you would find.
Better segmentation, so you will have more variations. Is it the idea?
Better segmentation, better content mix. It also depends on the complexity of the product. Now I have a complex product with so many features, and you have, for example, only one promo email, and you need to like put as
Really nail it, yeah.
Really nailed it, yeah. And you have a lot of human-generated content that we can use for our emails. But what is the mix of this content we can use for those emails? And if you'll try by yourself, drag and drop all these variations, and you'll create 20 emails, yes. But what about if I can create a dynamic email, fully like handlebars, or I forget how it's named in Brace, liquid-based dynamic content, and you will just ask AI agent to help you with validating your hypothesis. It's still experimentation. It's saving your, again, we're coming back to operational work. So yeah.
AI are not only like changes the lifecycle marketing itself, but it always changes the products, that you are using. And some of your products, I think it's like very like intuitive places to integrate with AI, something like Coda, okay? And how do you think that these new surfaces that you have, how they will change actually the lifecycle marketing? So you already have the MCP for Coda, yeah? Do you?
Yeah.
Yeah. How do you communicate with these users? How do you they're using Coda inside Cowork or inside Codex. What next?
Again. Yeah. Coda MCP tool, first of all, Coda MCP tool, amazing knowledge management, things that appeared recently. It was like groundbreaking for me because first of all, they're well-defined, all different blocks in Coda specifically for MCP usage and MCP context. And first of all, I wouldn't grade it, I didn't measure it, but it takes less tokens for me to use in other knowledge management systems, and easier and faster for me because it's pretty intuitive. But how to market it? Maybe you don't need to market it to somebody. Maybe they don't care. Like, does my mom, sister, you have all these different segments. Does this segment actually need this tool?
Okay.
No, and it's okay. And you have all different value propositions, job to be done to solve for them. Like my sister needs to solve different problem with, I don't know. Let's say, actually, we can come back to knowledge management. Maybe you can, it's product solutions and it's lifecycle solution, but maybe there is an option to seamlessly integrate MCP tool without going into terminal integration, etc. for my sister, so she can manage her studying from ChatGPT or Claude on any of those tools. Create those bridges between products, but you need to identify the segment, you need to identify that they're actually using it or which persona to market this value proposition. And this is the challenge, but this is the most interesting part that I'm working with now.
It's the same idea as the Grammarly, make the product dispersed, and the best product if you don't see it. So you're trying to apply the same ideas here, do you?
In lifecycle marketing, yes. I want to create the seamless experience of users so they will not need to think about what they need to do.
Okay.
It's always, I'm opening an email and I already make some energy to open an email, first of all. And then I need to do something and I open it on my phone and I don't want to. I mean, this is all simple things, but you need to think about complex user behavior. What they will do if they opened your email. Hey, we have Coda MCP tool. Okay.
Yeah.
And if I'll send an email, hey, you have so many docs related to your studying, you have prepare for your SaaS, etc., but let us help you manage your studying, all your studying docs. Just connect to Coda with one click. And maybe we don't even need to say that it's MCP tool. I mean, of course, with all the privacy policy terms and conditions, etc. But maybe you don't need to say that we're integrating with MCP tool. Maybe we just need to connect this experience of previously using Grammarly as your main surface of docs management, and then you have a seamless experience of Superhuman.
Yeah. Maybe not many people know what's MCP actually is. So yeah,
Exactly.
don't use it. And how do you think all this AI transformations is happening now? What does the impact be? We already said that the lifecycle marketing will stay. I agree with you. How do you feel about the jobs? Yeah, will we need more lifecycle marketers? And are your team is growing now? Even with the help of AI, okay, you have more experiments, you do more, but do you need more people for that?
Yes, of course. It's always like you're getting into the field is like you had, let's say, 5 lifecycle marketing managers, and you could work with 5 lifecycle stages and 10 dimensions of user segmentation. You got 20 lifecycle marketing managers, and dimensions and segments that you can work with is multiplying. It's exponentially increasing, and of course it depends on the size of your company. And since we're growing as a company, it's important for us to grow as a lifecycle team, because we can work and market and better for like specific user personas, more diverse segments, etc., etc. Where I'm leading is that it will not take or reduce, maybe, I don't know, I'm not a predictor here, but I don't think that it will reduce number of jobs, because lifecycle is very human based part of the product. Even if you can create a landing page without a human touch, let's say completely AI generated, maybe it's not true. Some CEO managers will come to commenters and say, no, you can. Okay. But it's very human-based touch part of the product, where you need to actually talk to people. Like, yes, you have a huge amount of people, but you need also to treat it as like you just call the person on a phone. It's still almost lifecycle marketing manager, but why are you not using a product? We had so many great features, like, man.
Are there some parts of the jobs that will take, like, I don't know, like take less time, we will need less people there? For example, for our business, like we are in B2B SaaS space, but we have less copywriters that we used to have a year or two ago, like much less copywriters. So are there the parts of the jobs that will disappear in lifecycle marketing?
I don't think that it will disappear. It depends on the people, actually, how they will adapt to this new world, because everything is coming to your operational efficiency and your soft skills. Like, how people will be valued is by saying, yeah, of course, your hard skills in lifecycle marketing, but now soft skills and operational efficiency will be also one of the leading indicators, at least for me, to decide how person is working. Because as I said, amount of experiments equal number of incremental revenues that you brought to the company, amount of knowledge that you brought to the company, how you work. You don't know, like, if you don't know something, this is a perfect moment for you to say that I don't know, but I will learn it, I will use it. Like, there are so many options how to learn, how to understand how it works. You didn't work with the data warehouse. Databricks have AI agent embedded. You can just enter the table and ask the table. You didn't work with any other, like, agents are coming everywhere, and this is like the current state of the world now. Yeah, so if you will not, I don't want to say adapt or you'll not have your job, but adapt. Like, it's always about.
I think that we can say it, but like, it's a must-have. So yeah, you really need to use agents, because it's so much increasing productivity from the, like, I do a lot of interviews, and if somebody is not using AI and not going to use AI, this is kind of a red flag already for me.
Yeah, and the thing is that I don't understand for myself, of course, but I don't understand why people don't want to go into AI. I know that they might have this AI anxiety, or AI will replace our jobs. I don't want to use AI because it's AI, and so on, so on. But it makes your life easier. It's literally making your life easier. It's better for you. Like, if AI will replace if at the very end of the day, in like 1 year, my job will be I just called, let's say, Claude and told like, can you build out of this context this email of this content, of this dynamic content for this specific segment, and send this on Thursday 10 a.m. and hang my phone, and then I went to play basketball, football, etc.
Okay, we are in Berlin, so maybe drink some beer.
When drink some beer with my friends, and my jobs would be done, or I make 20 of those calls, and this is already 20 experiments. Why not? If my manager doesn't know about it. So I'm trying, in just like maybe actually a lot of like, it's a side note, a lot of amazing things happened in our world because of laziness. Laziness is a key driver. I remember myself as a student in school, in university. Laziness is a key driver. It's not about even laziness, it's just like you don't want to do it, but you need to find a way how to do it. And it's like you need to figure it out. And this is the way how I want to figure it out. I want to make my life easier as Lifecycle Marketing Manager in my operational work, and I want to hand it over this like daily redundant tasks to AI agents, and I'm happy with it, unless I'm not sharing any sensitive information. And yes, like, why not?
This is a great conversation. I think that's a very nice point to make a pause here before our next talk. But I have some rapid fire questions. Are you ready?
Okay, let's go.
What are you reading right now?
Hail Mary. I was trying to remember the author. I don't remember the author. I watched the movie and I really like sci-fi, and now I'm reading Hail Mary.
Yeah, it was a pleasure for me to watch this.
Pretty mainstream.
Yeah, but really nice book. And The Martian too, so yeah.
Yeah.
Which books have had the biggest impact on your career or the way you think?
I think the main book was Ogilvy, How to Communicate with People, Marketing, amazing starting one. Then personally for myself, I would say there is like a bit philosophical. I'm not very into philosophy, but Kinscard or either his book and Repetition and Marcus Aurelius, helping like to straight out your mind, like go out from this anxiety and everything that's happening in the world. And the third one, it's Isaac Asimov, Foundation Cycle and everything related to Isaac Asimov. I just love it. Was reading from childhood and yeah, sci-fi.
And the Foundation TV series, but I'm just starting it, so I don't know, like, is it good or bad? But the book is amazing.
It's amazing. And it's actually related to, because you were asking, the question was how it helped in my work. Because it's always, like, first of all, human communication. And the second is, like, everything is possible in sci-fi world. But what was teaching is you need to adapt, always adapt. It's always a lot of books and movies and everything is helping you to understand that you need to be adaptive, you need to be lean, and it's just explaining why at the end you'll get the benefit out of it.
Are there any books you think every marketer should read?
Yes. I think it's Ogilvy, amazing foundational book. Second one is everything from journalists to understand how to work with product teams, how product operates, really help to collaborate. And the third one, it's Ron Kohavi, A/B testing. You're working always with experimentation, A/B testing, and you need to learn how to work all of the biases, etc., etc.
If you were starting your career today, what advice would you give yourself, or what would you do differently?
I don't have this. Definitely, I will not answer the question what I would do differently, because I think what I'm doing like always for myself, right? But advice what I would give if I would start now, don't be afraid. First of all, don't have this, try to remove this source of information that giving you an anxiety about AI, that everything, like we already in the doom, AI already there and it already took our jobs. It's not true. Just try to be more technical and get more experience with AI usage. It's not even AI, those tool usage. Claude, Codex, any of those tools for your daily work, because it's also important to understand how it works. For example, you have option to try to find all of local devices in your network. What I did, I just connected my speakers, I connected my temperature, floor temperature, hitting floor, and I connected my blinders so I can work and communicate it with phone seamlessly. I don't need like 3 apps, and also connect lamps, and try to do it. And it will help you to understand that it will not replace you. It will just help you to be there more operationally effective. I'm going
So you really build for your smart home application by yourself?
Yeah.
And you don't have any developer experience. Yeah, you haven't write a code before.
Never. I know I learned HTML, CSS, a bit of Python and SQL back in university years just because like I wanted to learn. And if you don't know coding, also my main advice would be you will not code as an engineer, but you can always ask about, can you explain me in details? Like I'm 5 years old, literally 5 years old. What does it mean? Like, and you will learn by like doing, and AI will explain you everything. And it's the most efficient way of learning some new things. Like literally yesterday I watched Devs. Have you watched series Devs?
Devs? No.
Amazing series about quantum mechanics, and they built a quantum computer and a multidimensional world. And I was like, okay, I remember the cat of Schrödinger, and this was pretty popular, famous pop thing, but you never get in details of what is it inside. And I was just like, I was chatting with Claude, can you explain me? Like I'm 5 years old, like on apples and bananas. What does it mean? Because I don't understand, because like I'm interested. And be interested, learn. This is the most valuable things that you can have. Soft skills.
Yeah.
Again.
Great advice for this part of our conversation. Thank you so much. It was a pleasure.
Thank you too.
Yeah. Hope to see you next time.
Yes. Thank you very much.
Thank you.